guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I'm Oli Pepe, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you. Like an highly requested video. I'm going to be doing an eyebrow tutorial, mainly because usually when I do my makeup tutorials, I don't usually draw my brows on camera, and I seem to be getting a lot of requests to do an eyebrow tutorial, mostly from my friends, and also sometimes I get requests in my comment section, people asking me for an eyebrow tutorial. And also sometimes when I put up like an opinion poll on my Instagram for like the kind of videos people want to view and see, people usually, I do like once in a while, I still receive like, you know, requests for an eyebrow tutorial. And yes, basically I'm finally here with what you guys have been asking for. And before I start, I'm going to, you know, like to put out a kind of like disclaimer, because drawing eyebrow for me is also a struggle, but I always try my best to actually, like, you know, achieve the perfect brows. It usually takes so much time, which is why I usually just skip that process in most of my makeup videos. But because you guys requested and everybody seems to all, like, you know, wants an eyebrow tutorial, so basically here it is. And also, before I start, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not, and also give this video a big thumbs up. And I guess with all that said, let's dive right into the video. Set my eyebrow area with some setting powder, mainly because I have really oily skin, and also just for the product, you know, just so the product applies well. Do you guys get? And yes, the setting powder I'm going to be using today is my Sacha Buttercup setting powder. I'm basically just going to be very little amount, guys. You don't want to pack too much products there. Like that. So the next step is to brush your eyebrow using your spoolie, just to brush the excess setting powder out of the way, and also just to kind of like brush the air into place before you start filling in your brows. So the next step is to fill in your brows. Today, the brow product I'm going to be using today is this my Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil in the shade medium brown. This end of the brow pencil has a kind of like spoolie which you can use, but I'm not going to be using that. I usually use my normal spoolie, and this other end has the eyebrow product pencil kind of thing, and it's like a retractable. You can basically, you know, it has a lot of products in it, and I've been using this for like almost a year now. To fill in my brows, the first thing I do is outline my brows by drawing a simple stroke just as this, and towards the end of my brows I kind of extend it a bit to give it a tail just a little bit longer than the actual length of my brows. The thing I'm going to be doing right now is to outline the upper part of my brows, basically doing the same thing, but now the only difference about this part is that I kind of like begin from somewhere around here, not from this place. Do you guys get? I begin from like middle part of my brows, because I need this beginning part of my brows to be like a little bit like an easy effect, and also because that's what makes it look natural, and also that is where most people get it wrong, that at the end of the day the eyebrows end up looking boxy and not very cute. And then I proceed to fill in my brows, basically by drawing strokes repeatedly and making sure to avoid the beginning of my brows, and then I pick up my spoolie and brush it all together thoroughly just to make it look decent and ready to be concealed. Just a little bit. So now this is what this looks like. Can you guys see that? So basically right now, if I should conceal this does not look boxy at all, because there's this like effects right here, and this is where most people usually make mistake. They just kind of like outline their brows starting from here, and it's just kind of like woggle. It's not fresh. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and do the same for the other brow. So I'm going to be, you know, speeding up the process while I do that. Concealer I'm going to be using for underneath my eye is this my Ezekiel concealer in the shade Caramel. So basically I'm just going to be applying that at the back of my hand, just like that, for easy application. Just put enough. So guys, the brush I'm going to be using to apply my concealer is this my Zoeva 226 smudger brush. Guys, about the brush, I would recommend any brush that is shaped like this. I personally prefer to use brushes that are shaped this way rather than the angled brush that people usually use. Mind you, I'm just using this shade for underneath my brow. To conceal my brows, I usually start from the tail and then I work my way into the inner part of my brows. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and conceal my other brow just because I like to do them both together, just so that I keep comparing them as I go on. Do you guys get? Just so I can achieve identical brows, even though they usually don't end up looking alike, but I try my best to make them look like sisters and not distant cousins. So guys, for the upper part of my brows, I like to use a concealer that is either exactly my foundation shade, or I just go in with my foundation itself. And today the foundation I'm going to be using, one of my foundations I'm going to be using, is this my V Beauty Pro Matte Full Coverage Foundation, and this is in the shade Melanin. That is what I'm going to be using to conceal the upper part of my brows. So guys, basically from this point on, I just felt like the rest of the video was quite self-explanatory. That's why I just decided to keep quiet and just let you guys watch. And yes, so right now I'm just basically concealing the upper part of my brows, and then at this point I move on to the next one. And then after concealing the upper part of the second brow, I go ahead and just keep comparing the first and the second one, just kind of like I kept making little adjustments for them to end up looking almost the same, even though it's not the same. But yeah, so guys, this is basically how I achieve my brows. This is basically what I do to get my brows done. Nothing special. I just kind of like take my time, and as you guys can see, this took me like a lot of time going back and forth from one brow to the other, and also I kept comparing them, looking right and left. See that seems like I'm happy with the results that I have. They kind of look alike. They might not be the same, but like, yeah, my brows look kind of like presentable right now. And then the next thing I'm going to be using this little beauty blender. See how tiny this thing is. This is literally what they call small but mighty. When I first saw this, I was really like, what can this possibly do? Like, what difference can this possibly make? But guys, if I tell you, now that I've started using this, I almost cannot do without using this little beauty blender. It is so efficient, in the sense that there are some little things that just require, like, that don't really require the huge sized beauty blender that this actually works for. guys, basically that's all about my eyebrow routine. This is how I draw my brows, and I also try my best to make this video as beginner friendly as possible. Yes, I've finally come to the end of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and also found it very helpful. Thank you so much for watching this far, and please kindly subscribe to this channel if you've not, and also give this video a big thumbs up. And until next time guys, bye.